Samuel Wright adjusted his tie for the fifth time as the shuttle approached the massive space station. After 20 years in diplomacy, he finally had the most important job any human had ever been given: first ambassador to the Galactic Council. Through the viewport, the space station looked like a giant silver wheel with spokes reaching toward a bright center hub. Ships of all shapes and sizes moved around it. 2 minutes to docking, Ambassador, said the pilot. Samuel nodded. Earth had only discovered faster-than-light travel 3 years ago. Finding the Galactic Council had been a shock. Learning that over 200 alien species had been sharing the galaxy for thousands of years was an even bigger surprise. Now Earth wanted a seat at the table. The shuttle shook slightly as it connected to the station. Samuel took a deep breath and picked up his simple briefcase. It contained just a tablet with Earth's formal request to join the Council. Lisa Morgan, captain of the USS Horizon, walked up beside him. Remember, just be yourself. We're new here, but we deserve respect like anyone else. Samuel smiled at her. Captain Morgan would return to Earth after dropping him off. Her exploration vessel had been the first to make contact with alien life. Now she had become humanity's unofficial guide to galactic politics. Just follow the diplomatic guide they sent us, she added, and try not to stare too much at the aliens. When the door opened, Samuel was met by a tall, thin alien with blue skin and large eyes. It wore what looked like a formal robe with symbols along the sleeves. I am Trelvak, Junior Diplomatic Liaison, the alien said in perfect English. Please follow me to the council chambers. As they walked through the station, Samuel tried to keep his face neutral despite his amazement. Aliens of every imaginable shape moved through the hallways. Some floated in bubbles, others had 6 or more legs, and some seemed made of light, rather than solid matter. The High Council will see you immediately, Trelvak said. This is unusual for a new species, but there is much interest in humans. Samuel felt a flutter of hope. Maybe this would go better than expected. The council chamber was a large room with raised seats arranged in a half-circle. In each seat sat what Samuel assumed were representatives from different worlds. At the center, on the highest platform, sat a large alien with red scales and a ridge of spines down its head. Trelvak gestured for Samuel to stand on a small platform in the center of the room. Present your credentials to High Counselor Zex Pran of the Dralaxian Empire, current head of the Galactic Council. Samuel stepped forward, his heart pounding. Greetings, honored members of the Galactic Council. I am Samuel Wright, representing Earth and humanity. We come seeking friendship and knowledge. The red-scaled alien, Zex Pran, leaned forward. Its yellow eyes narrowed. So the apes have learned to build spaceships. Its voice was deep, with a hissing quality that made Samuel's skin crawl. A murmur of amusement rippled through the chamber. Samuel felt his face grow hot, but kept his diplomatic smile. We prefer the term humans, Counselor. We've achieved faster-than-light travel and wish to join the galactic community as equal members. Zex Pran let out a barking sound that might have been laughter. Equal? Your species was swinging in trees while mine was mapping star systems. You are primitive primates unworthy of stellar recognition. Samuel stood straighter. With respect, Counselor, all species begin somewhere. We learn quickly. Too quickly, perhaps, Zex Pran said. The Council has protocols for developing worlds. You will be classified as a protectorate until properly evaluated. A protectorate? But we've already... Silence. Zex Pran's voice boomed. 6 months passed since Samuel Wright's failed meeting with the Galactic Council. Earth's governments worked, together in secret, preparing for whatever might come next. No one knew if the aliens hiding near Jupiter meant harm or were just watching. On a cool Tuesday morning, the sky above New York City turned dark. People stopped and pointed as a massive shadow fell over the buildings. A ship larger than any aircraft carrier hung in the air, its metal surface reflecting sunlight in strange patterns. Similar ships appeared over London, Beijing, Moscow, and other major cities around the world. TV channels, radio stations, and internet services all stopped working at the same time. Instead, every screen showed the same image, a red-scaled alien with yellow eyes. People of Earth, the alien said. I am Admiral Vexnor of the Dralaxian Empire. Your planet has been evaluated and found useful to our needs. In the Pentagon's underground command center, General Ben Harris watched with other world leaders who had been rushed to safety. Samuel Wright stood among them, his face pale. That's Sexpren's second-in-command, Samuel whispered. This isn't a diplomatic mission. On screens around the world, Admiral Vexnor continued. Earth contains minerals vital to our empire. You will surrender all mining rights and accept status as a protected territory of the Dralaxian Empire. You have 48 hours to comply, or we will begin cleansing operations. The screens went black, then returned to normal broadcasts. Panic spread across the globe. In a secret lab beneath the Nevada desert, scientists Alan Carter and Megan Powell worked frantically. For months, they had studied the alien signals detected by Captain Lisa Morgan's team. I've almost got it, Megan said, her fingers flying across her keyboard. The encryption is complex, but it follows patterns. Alan looked over her shoulder. What are we looking at? Internal communications between the Dralaxian ships. Megan pointed to strange symbols on her screen. From what I can tell, they're preparing for a ground invasion. But look at this section about their shields. Alan studied the data. There's a weakness. Their shields can't handle rapid frequency changes. Exactly, Megan said. If we hit them with alternating electromagnetic pulses, we might be able to disrupt their shields. Meanwhile, world leaders met in emergency session. The Russian president pounded his fist on the table. We should strike first, he shouted. Use our nuclear weapons before they attack. The Chinese premier shook his head. Our nuclear missiles can't even reach their ships. They're too high in the atmosphere. President Evans of the United States stood up. We've received reports from our scientists. They believe they found a weakness in the alien shields. But we need time to develop weapons that can exploit it. How much time? Asked the British Prime Minister. More than 48 hours, President Evans admitted. Samuel Wright stepped forward. Then we need to stall them. I'll request a meeting with Admiral Vexnor to discuss terms. You'll be risking your life, General Harris warned. Samuel nodded. I know, but it might buy us the time we need. On the USS Horizon, now hidden in Earth's orbit, Captain Lisa Morgan received encrypted orders. Her ship had been retrofitted with experimental technology based on what they had learned from alien communications. Captain, her first officer said, do you think this will work? Lisa looked at the strange devices now attached to her ship's weapon systems. I don't know, but I do know that humans don't surrender easily. She turned to her crew. Prepare for stealth approach. We'll position ourselves above the Dralaxian command ship. If diplomacy fails, we'll be Earth's first line of defense. As Samuel Wright prepared to meet Admiral Vexnor, scientists around the world worked on weapons to fight the aliens. Soldiers said goodbye to their families and reported for duty. Citizens built shelters or evacuated cities. No one knew what would happen next, but one thing was clear. Earth would not surrender without a fight. Across the chamber. You are here to receive terms, not negotiate. Return to your world and prepare to accommodate a Dralaxian evaluation team. As Samuel was escorted from the chambers, his face burning with humiliation, he didn't notice the small monitoring device attached to his briefcase by one of the guards. Back on Earth, Captain Lisa Morgan stood in a secure room beneath NASA headquarters. On the screens before her were images of unknown objects hiding in Jupiter's shadow. What are they? Asked General Ben Harris. Alien ships, Lisa said. Hiding. Watching us. Friendly? Lisa remembered Sexpren's cold eyes. I don't think so. Sir, I think we should prepare for the worst. The general nodded grimly. Then we better get started. Admiral Vexnor stood tall on the bridge of his command ship. The human diplomat, Samuel Wright, had just left after a 6-hour meeting that went nowhere. Humans were more stubborn than expected. They're stalling, Vexnor said to his second-in-command. They have no intention of surrendering. What are your orders, Admiral? Vexnor's yellow eyes narrowed. Prepare a demonstration. Target their city called Seattle. A small attack will show them our power. On Earth, Samuel Wright reported to the emergency command center. I bought us some time, but not much. They seemed annoyed by our questions. President Evans nodded. Good work. Our scientists need every minute they can get. Suddenly, alarms blared. A young officer rushed in. Sir, Drillaxian ships are moving into attack position over Seattle. On screens around the room, they watched as 20 smaller ships detached from the main Drillaxian vessel. They formed a perfect line as they descended toward the city. Evacuation status? General Harris asked. Still in progress. We need at least another hour to get everyone out. The president's face hardened. Then we fight now. Activate the pulse defense system. In a military base outside Seattle, soldiers rushed to activate strange-looking devices mounted on trucks. These weapons, built using the information from Alan, Carter, and Megan Powell, fired rapid electromagnetic pulses that changed frequency every millisecond. Commander Daniel Ross climbed into the lead truck. Remember your training. Target the front ships first. The Drillaxian attack force moved lower, their weapons charging. Inside the lead ship, the alien commander looked bored. This primitive world would fall easily. Suddenly, his control panel flashed red warnings. Sir, strange energy readings from the ground. Before he could respond, the pulse weapons fired. Invisible waves hit the Drillaxian ships. Their shields flickered and failed as the rapidly changing frequencies confused their systems. 3 alien ships crashed into Puget Sound. 2 more wobbled in the air before regaining control. In the command center, everyone cheered, but General Harris remained serious. It worked, but they still outnumber our prototype weapons. We need more. Admiral Vexnor couldn't believe the reports. How had primitive humans damaged his ships? He slammed his fist down. Launch all fighters. Full attack. Hundreds of small, dart-shaped alien ships poured from the larger vessels and streaked toward Earth's surface. At Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, Commander Daniel Ross ran toward a hangar where pilots were rushing to their jets. But these weren't ordinary fighter planes. They had been modified with technology reverse-engineered from a crashed alien scout ship found years earlier. This is not a drill, Ross shouted. Operation Wildfire is go. 50 modified F-35 jets roared into the sky. They moved faster than any normal aircraft, their engines glowing with an unnatural blue light. Ross spoke into his helmet mic as he led the squadron. Remember, their ships are faster, but our intel says they can't handle tight turns. Use the mountains for cover and hit them from below. The alien fighters seemed confused when the human jets didn't follow expected attack patterns. Instead of meeting them head-on, the Earth fighters used canyons and clouds for cover, appearing suddenly to fire their new weapons before disappearing again. In orbit, Captain Lisa Morgan watched the battle from the USS Horizon. Now's our chance, she told her crew, while they're focused on the ground battle. The Horizon moved silently toward the nearest Drillaxian battlecruiser. Once in position, they fired their new pulse cannons at point-blank range. The massive alien ship's shields failed and its engines went dark. On his command ship, Admiral Vexnor watched in disbelief as his forces retreated. Over a dozen fighter ships destroyed, 1 battlecruiser disabled, and the ground attack completely failed. Impossible, he whispered. They're just primitives. His communication officer turned to him. Sir, the Council is demanding an update on the Earth situation. Catherine Hayes walked quickly through the curved hallways of the Galactic Council station. As a junior diplomat who had stayed behind after Ambassador Wright returned to Earth, she was mostly ignored by the alien officials. This made her the perfect spy. For 6 months, she had been gathering information while pretending to study alien cultures. Now, with Earth under attack, her mission became even more important. Catherine slipped into a side corridor that led to the Council archives. Using an access card she had copied from a careless clerk, she entered the dimly lit room. Rows of strange devices held the records of thousands of years of galactic history. She moved to a terminal and inserted a small device Alan Carter had given her before she left Earth. It allowed her to read the alien data systems. Catherine searched for information about the Drillaxian Empire and their previous conflicts. "What are you doing here, human?" a voice asked from behind her. Catherine spun around. A tall, thin alien with silver skin stood watching her. She recognized him as Zeltor, representative of the Andorian Federation. Research, Catherine said, trying to sound calm. I'm studying galactic history. The alien moved closer. In the restricted archives? During an emergency council session about your planet? Catherine's heart raced. Emergency session? I wasn't informed? Of course not. Zeltor's large eyes blinked slowly. The Drillaxians wouldn't want Earth's representative present while they discuss your extinction. Catherine felt cold fear. Extinction? They're planning to destroy Earth? Not officially, Zeltor said. But I have been watching the Drillaxians for many cycles. They want your planet's resources, not its people. Why are you telling me this? The alien seemed to hesitate. The Andorian Federation has long opposed Drillaxian expansion, but the Council follows rules. If you found evidence of rule breaking, we could help stop them. Catherine looked at her screen. Then I need to get into this meeting. In the Grand Council chamber, High Counselor Zex Pran was speaking to the gathered representatives. The humans have rejected our generous offer and attacked our ships. We request permission to conduct a full military operation. Murmurs filled the room. An elderly alien with glowing eyes spoke up. Is this truly necessary? Earth was classified as a developing world, entitled to protection under the Non-Interference Treaty. Zex Pran waved a clawed hand. They developed faster than light travel. This automatically changes their status. The doors to the chamber burst open. Catherine Hayes walked in, followed by Zeltor. That is not true, Catherine called out, her voice steady despite her fear. I have evidence that Earth was deliberately misclassified. The chamber erupted in noise. Zex Pran's scales darkened with anger. This human has no standing here. Remove her. I request the right of witness, Zeltor announced formally. As representative of the Andorian Federation, I sponsor her testimony. The room went quiet. This was an ancient right that could not be denied. Catherine stepped forward and connected her device to the chamber's main display. These are records from your own archives. Earth was classified as pre-spaceflight, despite clear evidence we had achieved orbital technology centuries ago. Images appeared showing humans walking on their moon, building space stations and launching deep space probes. Furthermore, Catherine continued, the Drillaxians have violated the first contact protocols. They attacked without proper warning or negotiation. An older Drillaxian in the chamber stood up. High Counselor, is this true? Did you authorize an attack on a protected world? Zex Pran hissed. Earth has valuable resources. Their rapid development threatens our dominance in the sector. They needed to be controlled before they became too powerful. Gasps filled the chamber. Such naked admission of aggression violated everything the Council stood for. Catherine looked around the room. The people of Earth didn't want war. We came seeking friendship. Instead, we found treachery. As the Council erupted in arguments, Catherine received an urgent message from Earth. The Drillaxian fleet was regrouping. The real war was about to begin. Zeltor leaned close to her. You've started something here, but it won't stop the attack. On your world. The Council debates while planets burn. Catherine nodded grimly. Then we'll have to save ourselves. Vex Nor's scales darkened with anger. How could he explain that humans had somehow developed defenses against Drillaxian technology? He needed to regroup and rethink his strategy. Pull all forces back, he ordered. We will destroy this planet, but we will do it properly. As the alien, ships retreated. People around the world celebrated. But military leaders knew the truth. This was just the first battle in what would be a long war. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility unknown to most people on Earth, Dr. Jack Williams watched as engineers made final adjustments to a row of sleek black ships. They didn't look like anything built on Earth before. How many are ready? General Laura Bennett asked as she walked up beside him. 15, Jack replied. It's not many, but each one can take out a Drillaxian cruiser. Laura nodded. It will have to be enough. For 3 years, Earth's governments had secretly worked together on Project Thunderbolt. After finding a crashed alien scout ship in Brazil, scientists had discovered the principle of quantum displacement, a way to move ships instantly from one place to another. Jack led Laura to a large screen, showing the Dralaxian fleet regrouping near Mars. Our regular weapons can hurt them, but we still don't have enough. These ships are our best chance. How does it work again? Laura asked. The quantum drive creates a field around our ship, Jack explained. For a few seconds, the ship exists, in multiple places at once. We can appear inside their shield perimeters, fire our weapons, and jump away before they can react. Laura studied the alien fleet. They're coming back with everything they have. We'll only get one chance. Alarms suddenly sounded. A young officer rushed in. General, we're picking up transmissions from the Dralaxian command ship. They're preparing for a full-scale attack. Estimated time to Earth orbit 6 hours. Laura straightened her uniform. Then it's time. Contact all Thunderbolt pilots. We launch in 1 hour. Around the world, military forces moved into position. The first battle had shown that conventional weapons could hurt the aliens if used, in the right way. Now every country contributed what they could to the defense. In China, rows of pulse cannons lined the mountains. In Russia, modified missile systems aimed skyward. European nations deployed energy shields over major cities, based on technology developed from studying alien wreckage. On a military base in Arizona, Colonel Nathan Phillips addressed the soldiers boarding transport ships. These men and women had trained for months in special combat techniques designed for fighting in alien environments. Today we fight not just for America, but for all humanity, Nathan told them. Our mission is to board the Dralaxian command ship and capture Admiral Vexenor. Without their leader, their attack will fall apart. A soldier raised her hand. Sir, how do we get on their ship? Their shields stop everything. Nathan smiled. Not everything. You're about to see what Project Thunderbolt can really do. In orbit, Captain Lisa Morgan's USS Horizon moved to rendezvous with the 15 black ships rising from Earth. Her vessel would coordinate the attack. This is Captain Morgan to all Thunderbolt ships, she said over the comm. Form up and prepare to jump on my mark. On the main Dralaxian battlecruiser, Admiral Vexenor watched Earth grow larger on his view screen. His first attack had failed, but this time he brought 3 times as many ships. No primitive defenses could stop him now. Sir, reported his second-in-command, our scouts detect multiple launch signatures from Earth. They're pathetic fighters? Vexenor laughed. They cannot reach us here. No, sir. These are different. We cannot identify the technology. Vexenor frowned. Show me. On his screen, 15 small black ships rose from Earth. They moved faster than should be possible, their hulls absorbing light rather than reflecting it. Interesting, Vexenor said. But it changes nothing. Prepare all weapons. We will end this today. The Dralaxian battlecruiser shook as explosions tore through its engine section. On the bridge, Admiral Vexenor gripped his command chair as warning. Lights flashed everywhere. Shields down. Engine 3 destroyed, shouted his officer. Impossible, Vexenor hissed. How did they get past our shields? Outside, the quantum displacement ships blinked in and out of existence, appearing inside the shields of one Dralaxian ship after another. Each time, they fired their weapons and vanished before the aliens could respond. In one of these black ships, Colonel Nathan Phillips and his boarding team prepared for their mission. Unlike the other Thunderbolt vessels, their job wasn't to destroy, but to capture. Remember your training, Nathan told his team of 20 soldiers. Their gravity is slightly less than ours. They're stronger, but slower. Use your speed. The ship's pilot turned to him. Target locked. Admiral Vexenor's command deck. Jumping in 3, 2, 1. The world seemed to blur around them. Then suddenly, they were inside a large red-lit room filled with surprised Dralaxian officers. Go, Nathan shouted. The human soldiers burst from the ship, firing stun weapons. The Dralaxians were caught completely by surprise. They were used to fighting from a distance with technology, not face-to-face. A huge Dralaxian guard rushed at Nathan. The alien was 7 feet tall with powerful arms, but Nathan had trained for this. He ducked under the alien's swing and used the guard's own momentum to flip him onto the floor. Across the room, human soldiers were winning most of their fights. The Dralaxians were strong, but the humans moved faster and worked together better. Years of playing team sports and fighting in close quarters had prepared humans in ways the aliens couldn't understand. Admiral Vexenor watched in shock as his bridge crew fell. He had never seen humans fight in person. Their speed was terrifying. They didn't move like civilized beings, but like the predator species they were. "Surrender!" Nathan shouted, aiming his weapon at Vexenor. "Call off the attack on Earth." Vexenor's scales darkened with rage. "Never. The Dralaxian Empire does not surrender to primitives." Outside, the battle spread across the solar system. Captain Lisa Morgan coordinated the attack from the USS Horizon. On her screens, she could see Thunderbolt ships jumping from one alien vessel to another, causing chaos in the Dralaxian fleet. "Captain," her communications officer called. "Colonel Phillips reports they've secured the enemy bridge, but Admiral Vexenor refuses to surrender." Lisa frowned. "Show me our status." The battle map appeared on her main screen. Earth forces were doing damage, but the Dralaxian fleet was enormous. For every ship they disabled, 3 more moved forward. Without a surrender order, the aliens would keep coming. Meanwhile, at the Galactic Council, Catherine Hayes received news of the battle. She rushed to find Zeltor, her Andorian ally. "Earth forces have boarded the Dralaxian command ship," she told him. "But their fleet continues the attack. We need help." Zeltor's silver skin shimmered as he thought. "I have an idea, follow me." They hurried to the Council's communication center. Using his authority as a Council member, Zeltor accessed the emergency broadcast system. "What are you doing?" Catherine asked. "Sending the truth to all ships in your system," Zeltor explained. "The Dralaxians hide information from their own people. Their crews don't know they're attacking illegally." On the Dralaxian command ship, Nathan Phillips kept his weapon aimed at Admiral Vexenor. Suddenly, all screens on the bridge lit up with Zeltor's face. "Attention all Dralaxian forces," the Andorian announced. "By order of the Galactic Council, cease your attack on Earth immediately. High Counselor Zexpran has been removed from power for treaty violations. This attack was never authorized by the full Council." Vexenor roared in anger. "Lies. Do not. Listen." But Nathan could see the confusion on the faces of the Dralaxian officers. Some looked at each other uncertainly. "Your admiral knows the truth," Nathan said to them. "Ask him why he hid council records from you. Ask him why he classified Earth incorrectly." For the first time, the Dralaxian crew looked at their admiral with doubt in their eyes. As the massive Dralaxian fleet moved toward Earth, the black ships suddenly vanished from their sensors. "Where did they go?" Vexenor demanded. A moment later, alarms blared throughout his ship. Impossibly, 3 black human vessels appeared inside their shield perimeter, right next to the battlecruiser's main engines. For the first time, Vexenor felt something he had never expected to feel when facing humans: fear. On the lead Thunderbolt ship, Jack Williams watched his targeting computer lock onto the Dralaxian engines. "For Earth," he whispered, and pressed the firing button. The main chamber of the Galactic Council was in chaos. Representatives from 200 species shouted at each other. Some demanded immediate action against the Dralaxians. Others wanted proof before making any decisions. In the center of it, all stood Catherine Hayes, now Earth's only representative. Her hands shook slightly, but her voice remained steady. "The evidence is clear," she said, pointing to the large display showing battle footage from Earth. "The Dralaxian Empire attacked my world without proper council approval. They falsified our classification to bypass protection protocols." High Counselor Zexpran rose from his seat, his red scales almost black with rage. "These are lies. The humans are dangerous primitives who need to be controlled." An elderly council member floated forward in a bubble of blue light. "Then why did you hide reports of their development? Why change their classification secretly?" Before Zexpran could answer, the doors to the chamber burst open. Captain Lisa Morgan walked in with 4 human soldiers. Between them, they escorted Admiral Vexenor in restraints. Gasps filled the room. No one had expected humans to capture a Dralaxian fleet admiral. "What is this?" demanded Zexpran. Lisa stepped forward. I am Captain Lisa Morgan of Earth vessel USS Horizon. We bring Admiral Vexenor to face justice for attacks on our planet. Catherine almost cried with relief at seeing another human. She rushed to Lisa. How did you get here? Quantum jump, Lisa whispered. Right after the Dralaxian fleet surrendered, we brought some friends too. Behind them, more humans entered. They brought 3 Dralaxian officers who looked nervous but determined. These officers wish to testify, Lisa announced. They have records proving the Dralaxians have been illegally harvesting resources from multiple developing worlds, not just Earth. The youngest Dralaxian officer stepped forward. It's true. I have served on harvest missions to 12 worlds classified as protected. We were told the Council approved these missions, but our own records prove otherwise. The chamber erupted again. Many Council species had suspected the Dralaxians of breaking rules but never had proof before. Zexpran hissed in fury. You betray your own kind? You are traitors. No, the officer replied. We are following true Dralaxian honor by speaking truth. You betrayed our principles for profit and power. Zeltor, the Andorian representative, moved to the center of the room. I call for an immediate vote. The evidence is clear. The Dralaxian Empire has violated our most sacred laws. As the Council prepared to vote, Catherine received an urgent message from Earth. The remaining Dralaxian ships had retreated to Neptune's orbit, but hadn't left the solar system. They appeared to be waiting for something. We can't wait for the Council to act, Catherine whispered to Lisa. How many ships do we have ready? Only the Horizon made the jump here, Lisa replied. The other Thunderbolt ships are still engaging, Dralaxian vessels near Earth, but Colonel Phillips has a plan. On the main Dralaxian battlecruiser, now under human control, Colonel Nathan Phillips studied the enemy fleet positions. Admiral Vexenor might be captured, but his second-in-command had taken control of the remaining ships. They're in a standard Dralaxian defense formation, said Dr. Jack Williams, looking at the same screen. Their tactical manual says they'll hold position until they receive new orders from their homeworld. Nathan smiled. Then we use their own playbook against them. Can we send signals that look like they come from Dralaxian High Command? Jack nodded. With the command codes we captured? Yes. Good. Tell them to gather all ships in one location for a final attack. When they're clustered together, our Thunderbolt ships can hit them all at once. Back at the Council, the vote was complete. Near Neptune's blue glow, the remaining Dralaxian ships formed a tight battle group. Their new commander, Sub-Admiral Kexnar, believed he could still win this fight. Once reinforcements arrived from the homeworld, they would crush these humans and their primitive planet. Sir, we've received new orders from High Command, his communications officer reported. All ships are to gather at these coordinates for a final attack. Kexnar nodded. Finally, move the fleet to position. Unknown to him, the orders came not from Dralaxian High Command but from Colonel Nathan Phillips using captured codes. The alien ships moved closer together. They made themselves a perfect target. On the USS Horizon, now back in Earth orbit, Captain Lisa Morgan watched the enemy ships on her screen. All Thunderbolt vessels prepare to jump. Target coordinates locked. The 15 black ships acknowledged. They had been joined by 10 more, fresh from Earth's hidden facilities. Together, they would hit the Dralaxian fleet from all sides at once. Jump in 3, 2, 1. Lisa counted down. In the cold darkness near Neptune, 25 quantum displacement ships appeared simultaneously around the Dralaxian battle group. Before the aliens could react, the Earth vessels fired their weapons directly into unshielded areas of the enemy ships. Kexnar watched in horror as half his fleet lost power in the first seconds of the attack. It's a trap. Raise shields, return fire. But the human ships blinked away before Dralaxian weapons could lock onto them, only to reappear somewhere else a moment later. It was like fighting ghosts. General Laura Bennett coordinated the attack from Earth. Group 2, target their weapon systems. Group 3, hit their engines. Don't give them time to adapt. The battle that followed was unlike anything seen before in the solar system. Human ships appeared and disappeared faster than the aliens could track. The rigid Dralaxian battle formations, unchanged for centuries, couldn't handle this new way of fighting. On the Dralaxian command ship, Kexnar made his final decision. Send the surrender signal. We cannot win this battle. As the surrender went out, a new group of ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. Massive vessels bearing the symbol of the Galactic Council moved toward Neptune. The peacekeeping fleet, Lisa said, recognizing the ships from Council records. They're a bit late to the party. On the lead Council ship, Catherine Hayes stood, with Zeltor watching the final moments of the battle. Your people fight well, the Andorian said. The Dralaxians never expected such resistance. Catherine smiled. Humans have a long history of surprising those who underestimate us. 2 days later, in the Grand Council chamber, representatives from all member worlds gathered for a historic meeting. At the center stood Catherine Hayes, now officially recognized as Earth's ambassador. The Council acknowledges Earth as a full member world, announced the acting head. Furthermore, in recognition of their actions to expose Dralaxian violations, humans will be granted a special seat on the Justice Committee. Applause filled the chamber. Many species that had suffered under Dralaxian expansion were grateful to see the Empire's power reduced. Catherine stepped forward to address the Council. Her voice carried through the vast room. You dare attack Earth? She began, looking at the Dralaxian representatives. We didn't come to the stars seeking conflict, but neither will we bow to tyranny. The galaxy must recognize that humanity will defend itself, but we also offer friendship to those who approach with respect. She turned to face the entire Council. Earth brings new ideas, new approaches to old problems. We may be young among the stars, but we have much to contribute. As Catherine finished her speech, representatives from dozens of worlds approached her. Some offered trade agreements, others military alliances. A few simply wanted to learn more about the species that had defeated the feared Dralaxian Empire. Back on Earth, celebrations filled streets worldwide. Screens showed the Dralaxian surrender and Earth's acceptance into the Galactic Council. Samuel Wright, the ambassador who had been humiliated 6 months earlier, watched with a smile. Not bad for primitive primates, he said. General Bennett nodded beside him. Just imagine what we'll do next. Above them, the stars seemed brighter somehow. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy, not as servants or subjects, but as equals worthy of respect. Zexapran had been removed from power. The Dralaxian Empire was ordered to withdraw from Earth immediately and pay heavy penalties. Earth will be classified as a full council member with all protections, announced the new acting head of the council. Catherine stepped forward. Thank you, but words aren't enough. We need action. The Dralaxian fleet still threatens my world. The acting head nodded. Then the council must act. For the first time in 500 years, we will deploy the peacekeeping fleet.